All right, so Venom the Last Dance. Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, I'm Derek. This is Nerd Initiative. If you are new to Nerd Initiative, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, do everything you need to do with this video, and let's get into it and talk about it. So Venom the Last Dance is written by Tom Hardy and Kelly Marcel, with Kelly Marcel directing. It stars Tom Hardy, Judo Temple, Chiwetel Ejiofor, and Reese Ifans for some reason. So if you watch my out of the theater reaction, you know that I didn't love this movie. I don't think that it was fantastic. However, it was a relatively decent time. So let's get into what I thought worked, what I thought didn't work. What I think works in this is the acting overall, the back and forth between Tom Hardy and Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock and Venom. That was one thing that I didn't love in Let There Be Carnage. Was it was so goofy and over the top, and they toned that down a little bit. It's still there to the point where I actually chuckled out loud a few times, and I really enjoyed the relationship. You could feel like these were two distinct personalities and entities that have actually gotten to know each other over a year and have kind of gone into this relationship that is believable as one of slightly contentious but also with deep affection. So they were fantastic. One person. Tom Hardy was excellent. Juno Temple, for what she had to do, did a decent job here. She would tell Ejiofor, as always, is great, but again, he didn't have a whole lot to do. Um, Everybody did a fine job here. It was just whether or not the script allowed them to do anything really spectacular or special. So unfortunately, that was one of the drawbacks. But to stay with the things that I liked, I think the action in this movie was really well done. The special effects, the CGI, the practical effects, everything was really on point. I don't think there was any moment in it that really took me out of it. Of course, there's some of the ridiculous nature of the symbiotes and their overall just kind of wet, oozy feel. It's hard to get that looking realistic in a live action next to actual living, breathing people. It's hard to get that to look good, but I think they did a decent job. The A plot of this movie was a decent one. This is a road trip movie at its core between Eddie Brock and Venom. They are on the run, they're on the road trying to get to a destination, and they get up to some hijinks and some very action-packed set pieces along the way. That part of the movie really worked for me. The problem is they kept cutting away to the B plot, which was Juno Temple's story, unfortunately. I feel like she was kind of wasted here. I mentioned before that she does great for what she has to do, but I just didn't care about her character or anything that her character was doing. I don't want to get into spoilers here, but there's kind of a shoehorned, very exposition heavy um, subplot to her character explaining her motivations, but it felt more like, hey, this is what's going on. This is why she's doing what she's doing. This is why she's doing it. Just go with that. Just go with that. And instead of making me empathize and relate to her character and feel like this is somebody that I wanted to root for, it just kind of fell flat for me to the point that by the end of the movie, I was actually talking to some of the other people that I was watching the movie with, and we all had the same complaint that we just didn't care about the side characters at all. And if you are a fan of the Donny Cates run of Venom, there are some characters in here that are very important to that run, to the story, that just didn't get to do anything. Um, and it makes me wonder what they're going to do in the future with that. So the things again that I really liked, action set pieces were good. The third act action was great. I was invigorated. I was ready to go because leading up to that, I'd been getting a little bit stale on the movie. I've been wondering if we were going to do anything, and then it all just hits, and it hits fast, and it hits hard, and a little too quickly, in my opinion. But it was nice to look at. It was fun. It was a good time, and there were some decent emotional beats there towards the end of the movie that actually had a couple of the people in our auditorium actually shedding a couple of tears. Um, so, like I said in my out of theater reaction, if you like these movies, if you like this character, there are things to like here. Now, unfortunately for me, I liked the first movie. I did not like the second one at all. I couldn't have recommended it when it came out. My mind has not changed on it. And unfortunately, this movie is only a little bit of a step up from the second, in my opinion. Venom the Last Dance, while I said at its core is a kind of buddy road trip comedy, it is so bogged down by random set pieces, uh, scenes that go on for too long, questionable character decisions, and the Last Dance is a legitimate, literal title. The Last Dance. I'll leave it at that. I did not like um, a lot of what they were doing in this movie, unfortunately. Again, a lot of it stems from the fact that none of the characters really have anything to do. And so when they're on screen, I found myself bored. I wasn't excited to see what they were doing. I wanted it to get away from them so we could get back to Eddie Brock and Venom so we could see what they were doing. And we didn't get that very often. So, with all of the positives out of the way and a couple of the negatives, I want to talk about my biggest negative of this movie. My biggest concern and my biggest complaint with this movie has to be with the character of Null. I am not a huge fan of the King in Black storyline. Venom has never been one of my comic book characters that I was always going to read and make sure I read everything. But the King in Black storyline is very important to that character and very important to the Marvel comics in general. And so to see them try and bring Null in what has been reported as the last movie with Tom Hardy's Venom, it's just an odd choice. Because if you know anything about Null in the comics, Eddie Brock and Venom are the point of that story. They are the hero of the story. They're the ones that are the primary protagonist in the story of King in Black. And what they're trying to set up here with bringing Null in and saying, "Don't worry, this is just his first appearance. We're going to do more with Null." It makes me wonder what they're going to try and do. And I have to admit that with some of Sony's decisions in the past with their Spider-Man free Spider-Man universe, I don't have a lot of faith in what they're going to do with this character. Now, the look was fine. I think that it was decent. The small bits that we get with Null in this movie, the setting looked good. The voice acting was great. I don't want to say who the voice actor is. It's been out there some other places, but I want you to be surprised if you haven't seen it. Um, Voice acting was good. I just I found myself feeling very flat on Null, just like I did on these other characters, and just couldn't bring myself to care with what they were going to do with them. And it just seems like another strange decision from Sony for a universe that they don't seem like they know what they're trying to do. So, unfortunately, I can't recommend this movie highly. I will say that if you really enjoy the Venom character and you really liked the first movie and you really liked the second movie or you liked at least one of those, you will probably enjoy this one. But I can't say that it's going to be one that you're going to love. This is far from the best movie of the trilogy, also not the worst. And at the end of the day, I'm going to have to give Venom the Last Dance a 2.5 out of 5. It's barely a passable time. I didn't hate it, didn't really love it. It was okay. It's going to be another one of these movies that I just kind of forget about after a couple of weeks. I don't think that this is going to be one that sticks around that I'll go back to and watch multiple times over, like I do a lot of comic book movies. So, with all of that being said, I want to ask you, what did you think about Venom the Last Dance? Have you seen this movie? Let us know. Get into the comments and let us know your thoughts. Am I completely wrong? Is this the best movie ever made? Let me know. Do you agree with me and you don't love it? Let me know. Do you think it's the worst movie ever? I want to hear it. And if you've not already subscribed to Nerd Initiative, make sure that you hit that subscription, ring the notification bell, like this video, share it with everyone else. And if you're not checking out nerdinitiative.com on the regular, make sure you do that. We do new comic book day reviews every single Wednesday. We have wrestling content, we have movies, we have streaming, we have a plethora of wonderful content coming from the home of pop culture positivity. That's our whole point. And don't forget to come back and see what we have coming up in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.